Hi, and welcome to What's Up in UC. Today I've got Jemma Samala, my guest, and she's a freelance writer. She is an editor. She is the editor of the UCCA newsletter. She's also on the board of Educate, which we'll be talking about in great detail. And she's a resident of UC. She's lived there almost 20 years. She's a mom. She does it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure do.
And I'm Valerie Upham, and I'm the host. And the purpose for What's Up in UC is to bring on special people in our community who are making a difference, like Jemma. And you do so much for the community. And before I met you, I'd heard your name many times in a positive way. You used to be on the Centurion Foundation board,
right.
And the president of the PTSA over at Spreckles.
At Spreckles.
And I think you said Little League as well.
I was Little League president for a little while. Yeah,
so
all over.
You're a born leader.
Well, I don't know about that, but I feel like if you live in the community and things are important to you, you should get involved.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that, that there are so many people in our community that are giving back, and it's what makes University City so special. So as far as Educate, she's on the Educate board, as I had mentioned, there are a lot of events that Educate supports. And so I really want to dive in and share with you what some of those events are. The very first one that's coming up, May 3rd, is Taste of the Triangle.
Yes.
It's right here, if you want to zoom in.
Our 25th anniversary.
Okay, that's huge.
Yes.
And I think you had said that you used to be involved with the Taste of the Triangle event, and then you had gotten involved in some other activities, and then someone else roped you back in.
Well, what happened
Those are my words, not hers.
Was we did have a hiatus of the Taste of the Triangle for a couple of years here. And so when they were planning and deciding to bring Taste of the Triangle back, someone had said, "Oh, Jemma, didn't you say that you would help co-chair or plan the event if we had a 25th anniversary?" And so I had to think back, and I thought, oh, I guess I did. So I guess I should live up to my word and help plan the event. So now we've got the 25th anniversary. We're really excited. I think people had missed it, and so we're glad to bring it back.
I'm so happy you are. And it's May 3rd.
May 3rd.
So it's Friday, May 3rd at Perch, which is a store at University City, UTC, Westfield Mall. Yes. And what time is the event, and what is the cost for that?
Okay, so the event is, the VIP reception starts at 6 o'clock, and then the main event starts at 7 till 10 o'clock. Cost is $50 per person, $65 at the door.
Okay.
And for the UC area schools, staff and faculty, it's $25, and that's in recognition of our 25th anniversary also.
Great.
So we've brought the prices down, and we hope we get more of the community to come in, whether you have kids going to our UC schools or not. Support our schools.
There's so much going on at the event. So there's a silent auction.
We have a silent auction. We've got entertainment. We've got obviously the food taste, which is the big part. So you go to different restaurants and get the little taste. I think a lot of people are probably familiar with the taste concept events.
Certainly. And who are some of the restaurants that are participating?
Well, we've got a bunch, and I don't want to forget it. So anybody, we've got the French Gourmet, we've got Lorna's, who has been participating since the very first taste. So we're glad about that. We've got Rock Bottom, Eureka, P.F. Chang's, Corner Bakery, Outcast Grill, Crossroads Deli, Great Maple, Snooze, Ahern Thai, Vitality Bowls, Amardine Cafe, Farmer's Table, Nespresso, and we just added California Pizza Kitchen.
Oh,
so we're still adding more restaurants. So if anybody knows anyone that wants to participate, let us know.
So what do the restaurants have to do if there is someone interested? What is their commitment level of what's involved?
But basically, it's to provide a little taste. We estimate between 200 and 350 people there, and it's just a little taste of whatever you want that's on your menu. Yeah, and believe me, those little tastes add up, because I've gone to a few of those events. Yes. And you think it's like, oh, you're just getting a little taste, but they really fill you up once you go around and get everything.
And then how would one get to participate in the VIP?
Okay, so VIP is for anyone that donates $500 or more, and that gives you a ticket for two.
Okay.
Tickets for two. And so donate $500 or more, and you could get into the VIP event. Yes.
And then they have special tastings, I believe, wine pairings that are going to occur during the VIP event. Okay. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What are some of the other projects or events that Educate supports?
Sure. So Educate, the other fundraising events that we do, or the big one is Oktoberfest, which is in October, and we don't have the date set yet for this year, but we have breweries come in, and you
I
get
believe
that.
it's October 6th this year.
Oh, okay. Did
I
they?
believe
they
that's what
say
it's
that?
going to
Okay.
be. Yeah, don't hold me to it, but that's what I have on my calendar.
Yeah, and
I don't want to miss it.
and then we also have a homebrew contest too. So
Is that new?
no, we've been having that for a while. So we have homebrew
Okay.
contests. We have entertainment. We have games for the kids and everything. So we've got that in October. We also do the $1 a day campaign, which is basically you donate $1 a day to school.
So at the beginning of school, we
Right.
fill out the paperwork.
Right,
And you
exactly.
Okay.
So that's $180, and of course you could double that to $360 to basically do $1 a day for a year.
Okay.
So we've got that, and we also do an honor teacher recognition fundraiser too. And that supports quite a few programs.
Okay.
And so real quickly, we've got the teacher grants, and that supports teachers apply for these grants, and it ranges from lots of things. We give away, the grants are used for like books, computer kits, even sometimes rugs for
Oh,
the
for floor time,
classroom.
sure,
Right, because I remember one of the ones I thought was really kind of cool thing for someone to ask was, especially in kindergarten, kids don't really know the concept of school yet. And so in kindergarten, they've got these special rugs that are like numbered 1 through
Sure.
20.
Uh-huh.
And so so each...
Like they learn space.
Right.
Right.
And then each
This is my
student,
space.
well, the good thing too is they put this rug in front of where the teacher is going to read to them or talk to them about something. And so they each get a number.
Yeah.
And so they learn to kind of sit and know their numbers too. And so
Oh,
that's,
okay.
I think that's a nice little thing that some teachers have asked for. But, all kinds of things. Because as you know, a lot of the teachers spend a lot of their own money to get supplies for
They
their
do,
classrooms.
Yes.
Really
my mother is
quite
a school
bit.
teacher, and
Okay,
my two
so
sisters,
you know.
I
So you know.
absolutely know.
And
Yeah.
so that's why we try to help the teachers with these grants as much as we can.
Now, I have a question about the grants specifically. So there are 5 schools in University City that are being supported. So there's UC High School, Stanley Middle School, and then the 3 elementary, Doyle, Curie, and Spreckles.
Right.
And so within the teacher grant process, is there a certain number of teachers that, like, does every teacher get their grant?
No, they do
accepted?
have to go through the application process, and there's a committee that's formed that looks at everything and see if it's actually something worthwhile.
Okay,
you
and is there a
know.
dollar amount that's given every year, or is there a number of teachers? Like, how is that?
It's not based on
determined?
teachers. It's really just kind of like what
The need,
the
real
need is. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so I think
Okay.
it's roughly the third of an educate budget for the year. So roughly like about $25,000 to $30,000 is
Okay,
given
which
to
is
teachers.
significant.
It is. And
Okay.
so that helps out. And just going back to the one unique thing about Educate in itself as a foundation, it's one of the few foundations in, I would even say, the country that supports the whole cluster of schools. So you have a lot of foundations that support a school. Our foundation supports all 5 public schools in University City.
And who founded Educate?
Well, about 25 years ago, it was Deb Horwitz and Mary Kay Hewitt and a few other people. I think Elaine Hansen. They decided that, like, knowing that the teachers have to put up so much of their own money
Yes.
to get supplies and stuff, that we should support our neighborhood schools.
Yes.
And raise funds and help out our teachers. We really care as a community about education. And so about 25 years ago, they got together, decided they needed to do this. And as a result of that, they decided that we needed a fundraiser. And that's kind of how Taste of the Triangle started. It started
Was
off.
it the first? Was it the first fundraiser that they did?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it was basically tea and cookies at the Bank of America lobby.
Okay.
And was kind of, they decided they wanted something centered around food because food brings people together.
Sure.
We all love
Very
food.
easily,
Yeah.
yes.
And so they did that event, and it was a success. And so now it's grown to this event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
And then Oktoberfest, that's the second one. And then the 4th of July is separate.
Oh, that's
So
a
those are the
whole
two
other
main
event.
fundraisers.
Oh, and let's go, going back to the grants.
Yes, the
teacher
principal's
grants.
grant.
There's also a principal's grant that's given to each principal for their discretion. This year, I think the principals, the high school, I think, is using it for mental health education.
Great.
The middle school, Stanley, is using it for student planners.
Okay.
Doyle and Curie are using theirs for a reading program, Raz Kids. And Sparkles Elementary is using their program for Spanish education.
Okay, all of those are great,
Yes,
great
yes.
programs. And I know the planners may not sound like a big deal, but as our kids went through middle school, that planner taught them how to be organized, to not forget homework. I mean,
Right.
it really sets them up to be organized and successful in life. So
Right.
it really is, makes a big
Absolutely,
impact
yeah.
on their education.
Right, and then we also do have, I would say, cluster-wide grants. We've got BizTown, which is for all 3 elementary schools,
Okay,
a
for
5th grade
fifth grade?
program,
Okay.
and it's based out of Junior Achievement. It's a Junior Achievement program that they offer to a lot of the schools, and in class, you learn about basics about writing checks, keeping a checkbook, how to apply for a job, those kind of basic skills that we kind of overlook. And then the culmination is they go to the Biz Town in Mission Valley, and for one day they go there, and it's like a work day. So they have to show up to work, they have to take a lunch break, they have to figure out where they're going to go to lunch,
Okay.
they have to go like cash paychecks, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. And then
Yeah.
Math Academy.
Oh, and Math Academy is for Stanley Middle School and University City High School, and that's been really successful.
And they're doing something at the, well, I know at Stanley it's been expanded to all
Right.
topics, right? For like more like a study skill
Yes.
time with the teachers and volunteers.
Uh-huh.
They have volunteers come in. They also have 2 college students, I understand.
I think
Am I
so.
right?
Yes, they do
Okay.
get college students to help out. Yeah,
Okay.
and there's usually a waiting list for that too, because it's really grown. And the thing is, you could the waiting list is because there's only so many kids that you can really successfully like tutor at one time at the time that they have. And so I think a lot of times now they kind of rotate. Like some kids will do one semester, and then the next group of kids will do the second semester.
I'm trying to get my daughter and her friends to volunteer because
Oh,
they're in
that's-
high school.
yeah, oh, that's
So
good,
they
yeah.
could go and, on Tuesdays and Thursdays after school is when the program is happening.
Right, right.
And I think it's a really good, it's important because it sets the precedence for the kids if they need help during that week. They don't have to go and, ask the teacher, maybe they might be shy or
Right.
uncomfortable. They just know Tuesday, Thursday after school, I can go to is it the media center?
Yes.
And they can get help.
Right, and it's not necessarily for struggling students too. It's for all students, and I think the benefit too there is you have students that can help each other, and so they both learn.
Certainly,
Yeah,
and Stanley is so amazing. I participate in the award ceremonies, and they have such a high number of kids who are getting straight A's,
Oh, yeah.
and even just the 3.5 and above. It's such a high percentage of the kids at the
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
So they're doing an amazing job
Yeah,
over there. It's exciting. And then you're also editing. She is the editor of the UCCA newsletter. So this is just this most recent edition. There's
There
my
you and
ad.
back, yeah.
And so we definitely appreciate this. This shows up on our doorstep magically every month at the beginning of the month, right? How do you, I know who delivers in my neighborhood, but I can't imagine they're the deliverers for the entire community.
So the wonderful thing about University City too is we have volunteers on all levels, and so the newsletter is delivered all by volunteers, and so in different areas, and so what each volunteer will usually have like a few blocks or a street, and they deliver it as soon as they get them. Like usually the first weekend of the month. Sometimes I know recently, sometimes those weekends they were raining, so people may have gotten a little late. But basically, it's all delivered by hand.
That's
And
so
we
much-
do
it's
have it
free.
online.
It's
Yeah,
free
it's
to
free.
residents.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's free, and it is online. So if you don't happen to get one delivered to your door, for instance, if you live in North UC, or if you work here but don't live here, you can also see a copy. And we've also, as part of our podcast program that we've started,
Yes.
I'm reading the newsletter as a podcast, and so you could also listen to the
That
podcast.
is a wonderful
Yes.
service. Thank you. And I grabbed this again because Mika Giacconi is a UC high school student, and she's on the field hockey team with my daughter, and she was on American Idol. So we have, special people, all these special people in University City, and Mika was highlighted here in this month's newsletter.
Yes.
It's exciting.
So
Who interviewed her? Did you?
We just had a little snippet on her. We didn't do an interview, but we
okay.
do try to spotlight people in the community in there too. So
That's
as much
great.
as we can.
And then I've got Travel Host San Diego magazine, and this is something this is something that she
That's my
publishes.
day job.
Okay, in her free time.
In my free time. So that's what I do.
So welcome to San Diego. This highlights activities.
Right,
and
highlights
events
activities
the
in San
community.
Diego. We kind of break it down into eat, drink, shop, play, adventure, and relax. I always try to make sure I have a relax section in there because
Okay.
we need that. And while it's geared towards the tourist, the visitor to San Diego, I know my friends. We all kind of look here too for suggestions to do on the weekends. I've got in here hiking suggestions.
Okay.
Restaurants. Places to go hang out.
How long have you been doing this, putting
Well,
this
this
magazine
is
together?
relatively new. This is my
Okay.
first year doing it,
Okay.
and so
Where can we find a copy?
Well, it's basically in hotels,
Okay.
and it's at the airport. I know people have picked it up at the airport. It's at the visitor center downtown.
Okay.
It's at the airport, the Tijuana airport, where you walk across. I think it's called CBX. I can't remember the name. And then it's also online, so you can get it online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing so much. I'm so impressed by you.
Thank
and
you.
thank you for everything that you're doing on our
Thank you
community.
so much.
Yeah, you're touching a lot of people
Thank
and
you.
making a difference.
I
So
appreciate
thank you
it.
very much.
Thanks.
So hopefully you can join us at the Taste of the Triangle event May 3rd. And do you want to say what your website is?
Sure. You go to uc-educate.org, and you could go on there. Just look for the tab that says Taste of the Triangle, and you could get your tickets.
Okay, great.
Oh,
We'll
and also we're going to be putting the auction items up early next week, and so you could start bidding on the auction items too.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and we hope to see you at the event. Thank you.